moon pies are better than marshmallow pies.
Yeah, the issue is I don't feel as strongly about it versus, like, Swiss rolls.
Swiss cake rolls are better than ho-hos.
Or yodels.
What the fuck is a yodel?
It's the Hostess brand one? The one with the duck. There's
a duck on it?
There's 3 brands. There's Little Debbie, there's Hostess, and then there's Drake's is the one that actually gives it the yodel name.
Ew, what the fuck is Drake's? What else do they make?
They make all those. Hold on.
Well, there's only one way to eat a Swiss cake roll, and that's what I'm saying.
No.
Yes.
No.
There's one way to eat a Swiss cake roll.
Skin it?
Yes.
No.
And then peel it apart. So you skin all the chocolate off of it. You unroll the chocolate cake to expose the layer of icing. You tongue all the icing out of the middle part, and then you lick it all off the flat parts. And then you eat it piece by piece. You leave the chocolate for last.
How do you eat, like, Danimals? Do you, like...
Danimals?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a process for that, too. Would you like to hear it?
What is it, like, stick your tongue in the frosting and then
your
eat
finger.
one of the things?
I'm not a monster. Your finger.
Dip the thing! Why are you so
No, you
weird?
eat the graham crackers first, and then you eat the icing.
No, you dip it in.
No. You eat each piece
What
separately.
is wrong with you?
We're exposing a relationship right
What
now.
the fuck is wrong with you?
That's how you eat animals.
The animals?
That's how you eat animals. No, Danimal. I don't think we're. No, it's not Danimals. Danimals is the fucking yogurt. This is Dunkaroos.
Dunkaroos, thank you. Yeah. I didn't feel good about it when I said it. Well, welcome to this snack-themed episode of Butts in the Seas podcast, episode 4?
Yes?
Are losing track? Yeah. Yes, episode 4, pay-per-view number 2.
And unfortunately, our conversation about snacks is more interesting than the pay-per-view we just watched.
Nah. I am your host, Nick. Alongside me is Emily.
Hello.
I had to quiz Emily earlier. I'm like, name one match from this that wasn't the main event or World War III.
The only one I could think of was the match that we had seen like 4 times before.
Yes, and weren't supposed to see. So you are, a full pay-per-view build into WCW. How you feeling about it?
I thought it would take longer to be just exhausted by WCW.
Nope.
But I'm really over NWO, like really over NWO. And all their fucking factions.
There's a large shift coming with that soon, so we'll see how that affects.
In a good way?
I don't know.
Ugh.
I honestly don't know how it's going to affect week to week.
Fingers crossed it's better, because yikes. I'm just tired of trying to figure out who's in Black and White, who's in Hollywood, who's in Wolfpack.
Well,
like, everybody's in something.
Black and White is Hollywood.
So there's only 2 factions.
Yes. Plus there's the Latino World Order.
Which is falling apart.
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
Just Ray.
They're all... Okay, well.
They literally got a new member on this episode, too. They just swapped out Ray with Hoovy.
Yeah, there was no pomp and circumstance with that either. There's a little more pomp and circumstance with Ray joining.
Yeah. Which we
Not
didn't
much
even,
with Juventud.
We didn't even really fully... We didn't even really talk about it.
Not really, no.
We're like, okay, let's sure this
There's
will
Ray.
eventually
Okay.
be a thing. And then it just popped up. I'm like,
Anyway.
So I think we've done enough stalling. This is the final World War III, 1998.
Woo.
So World War III, live from Detroit, Michigan.
Woo.
How many pay-per-view buys do you think this had?
Well, they said the millions at home watching.
Well, it's potential millions.
Potential million.
All right, so Halloween Havoc, in case you forgot, had 310,000.
Oh, then this is definitely not millions.
No.
They lied! They lied to us!
What? To be fair, they don't know how many people bought it until later, so... There is that. What do you think? Better or worse than Halloween Havoc?
Worse.
All right, how much worse do you think?
100,000 less?
60,000 less. There were 250,000 buys, actually up from last year, which was apparently 205,000 buys. So
This is up from last year. I guess I don't know that it's bad until I watch it, so I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But last year also wasn't great.
I'm kind of surprised the 97 World War III did worse, or as bad as it did, considering it's the pay-per-view before Starrcade 97, their best ever.
Have we watched any of that?
What, Starrcade?
Yeah.
No, we may at some point.
Okay.
But I'm almost wondering if it's because at that one they got their title match at like Slamboree or Super Brawl. Sorry, Slamboree I think is a TNA pay-per-view.
Okay, Slamboree's a terrible name. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
TNA.
it's Super Brawl. So it's like, hey, you won this in November. You're gonna get your title shot in February. So it's like, okay, and it's not as important. It doesn't feel like.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we have the opening package, which tells us absolutely nothing, and it runs through all the names of the guys in World War III incredibly fast, so you can't read any of them.
Yeah, and with really generic background music behind it, so it's not even like a hype package. It's just text on a screen with nothing music.
Yeah, pretty generic. Goldberg arrives for some reason.
In a limo. Very fancy boy.
Yeah, he had a nice silver briefcase for some reason.
Well, he's got lots of business things to attend to. He needs his briefcase.
It's
He's a very important businessman, Nick.
well, I guess he had something. I hope he had something to do because he had no match.
He was very busy backstage. He was, business.
When's the last time we saw a Goldberg match?
I don't think we've seen a
Halloween
Goldberg
Havoc,
match. Was
the
it
main
Halloween
event.
Havoc? He's interfered in so many matches since that
Oh, actually, I lied. Technically, if we didn't skip it, we would have seen him wrestle that same match in the replay of it on the next night on Nitro.
Yeah, you're right.
So Goldberg has wrestled on TV once.
Since Halloween.
Unless he wrestled on that one Tuesday Nitro that we couldn't find.
So it's been give or take a month since he was actually in the ring for a full match.
Yeah.
Because this is 11/22.
So we go in the arena. We got Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Mike Tenay on commentary. They note that Hollywood Hogan is not here, which we went back and forth on whether or not that was going to be something that came up tonight or tomorrow.
I'm still confused by this whole thing.
I think they're just being honest.
That doesn't sound like wrestling, though.
Sometimes you have to do that.
To me, they hammered in the fact that Hogan wasn't there so many times throughout the entire pay-per-view that it was like a plot point. That it was feeding into Hogan interfering in something. That's why I really, really, truly thought that Hogan was going to interfere.
That's a very smart and valid point. However, I think it's just like, oh, they don't want to talk about the match, so let's just talk about anything. And
that also very much bothers me.
Yeah. We'll see what happens to that on Nitro, but they're saying maybe we'll get an explanation tonight, maybe we'll get it on Nitro. I don't know how much of this is they're still figuring things out, which wouldn't shock me, because Hogan has creative control. So if they can't figure out what to do, they don't do anything.
So there's a very real possibility that they just ignore that this happened.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, WCW definitely does that.
I mean, he still is running for president, so we'll see if
they might play that into it. Like, oh, he had a very important campaign event.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, he had a cabinet meeting. It's like, he doesn't have a fucking...
He's not... He has a cabinet meeting. He's not elected.
That's probably... It wouldn't shock me if he at any point mentions that he had a cabinet meeting.
Ugh. He's still running. It's 1998. The election's in 2 years. He doesn't have a fucking cabinet meeting.
So commentary runs down the card, which by them running the card, they run down 2 matches. They say World War III and the DDP Bret Hart match.
Yeah, so they don't mention anything else, and they don't mention if anybody else who's fighting is in World War III or is not in World War III. Like, they don't mention anything.
Yeah, I think the only thing I've actually heard them say was going to be on this show was Hoovy and Rey Mysterio.
Okay, but they didn't mention that at all in this paper.
No.
They don't mention any match other than the main event and World War III.
Yes.
Wow. These commentators are fantastic.
I don't know how much that's the commentators versus the
Producers?
people running the show.
I don't know. Maybe it might be producers or people running it.
If commentary wasn't doing what they wanted them to do, they would not be there.
Yeah.
Especially considering
I hate
WCW
Eric
has
Bischoff.
like 12 commentators, it seems like.
Fair.
Like Larry Zbyszko just show up for like the first hour of Nitro, and then it's like, oh,
We're going to switch out.
Brain's here.
I fucking hate Eric Bischoff.
He will leave a couple times.
Yeah, and then he gets to go to WWF, and we get to watch him in our personal watching. Yay.
Well, he leaves and comes back and leaves and comes back. And I know, especially a lot of the final year, like mid-2000 to the end, he has nothing to do with the show.
Okay.
And I know he'll leave once or twice before then.
Why does he leave in mid-2000?
That is an important thing in story that we will get to.
We'll get there?
Yeah.
All right. Because he doesn't come to WWEF till 2001, 2? What year are we in 2? Yeah.
2002, after WCW is dead, so it's not like he's crossing a line.
No, but he's got a lot more hair. We noticed, I noted that too. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But when he comes out later on in the show, he's like kind of graying and he's got really short hair. And I had to remind myself that what we are watching personally in the SmackDown timeline is in 2002, which is like 3 years ahead of this. He has a lot more hair in 2002 than he does in 1999. 8. Wow, years are hard.
And he will go like full gray at some point in...
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Like early 2000.
Listen, Leather Daddy Bischoff, like, he's not unattractive. He's just a douchebag.
What about Glacier and Wrath? Are either of them attractive?
Okay, I didn't know who Glacier was when he came out.
Well, that was a very poor segue into our first match, which is Glacier versus Wrath.
What a segue. I get off onto tangents and Nick reels me back.
Wrath has the undefeated streak going, but they don't have any numbers for how long it's been going or how many weeks.
Died for a pre-match package. Any of these matches, I would have loved a video package to be like, we've got a history.
This is just a match. There's no story for it.
But like, he has a record. Is there stakes? There are stakes. A lot of these matches have stakes, but we don't know them. They don't tell us.
Do they have potatoes to go with the steaks?
I hate you. I could see you waiting to make that joke until I finish talking.
So we've seen Wrath at the last pay-per-view. I think we skipped all of his stuff in the in-between because it's like, I feel like if you're going to have him lose, it's probably not going to be on free television. Yeah. Watch him lose on free television. But Glacier he looks cool when he comes out. He has the, it's like a knockoff Mortal Kombat kind of look.
Yes.
I swear, I'm pretty sure he used to have like one of the most expensive entrances until they realized it wasn't worth it.
It was too expensive.
Yeah.
I wish he would have more of a, like, Mr. Ice Meister, what is it, Cold Meister? Fuck, hold on, pause.
Snow Miser?
Snow Miser.
No, I'm not pausing for that. Live in your shame.
I wish he had more of a Snow Miser gimmick. If his name is Glacier, I wish he had more of like a, I'm Mr. Ice.
Well, he's going for like a Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat look.
I didn't play Mortal Kombat.
Well, that's what he's going for.
Well, was Mortal Kombat a thing in 1998?
Yes.
Oh.
They mentioned in this that Wrath is going on the Mortal Kombat TV show.
They did. Oh, there's a Mortal Kombat TV show?
See, that I didn't know about. I know there were...
We need to find that.
There were 2 movies.
I did know the movies. I don't know
the second one is just all around bad. The first one, it's hokey, but, it has some charm to it.
Is it pokey?
No. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's one of those where it's real schlocky.
Is Mortal Kombat the Finish Him?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I definitely played that in arcade then, so it's definitely 90s. I'm just dumb. It's fine.
Oh, so when the commentators actually noted Wrath's streak and didn't note a number, I was just like, we want to bet money someone in the NWO wins that.
I hate the NWO. I'm so tired of the NWO. I'm sorry. That's a rant for later. But, yeah, both these guys were really fucking forgettable. Oh, but there was a line about Wrath that made me just angry with WCW.
I don't think I know this line.
I'm pretty sure I ranted to you about it when it was happening. So they started talking about Wrath while the match was going, and they talked about his background.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He came into WCW as like a mixed martial arts and karate guy, like really into those kinds of fighting tactics. But in WCW, he quote unquote grew into a big power man. So basically they trained the skill out of Wrath. What could have been an interesting skill set and like martial arts kind of Steve Blackman-y sort of skill set, they trained out of him so he could be a big power guy.
Without having looked into him too much, I'm actually even wondering if
Is that true?
If the karate thing was even real.
If it's real, I'm going to be really upset. Because I really love Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman's got a cool gimmick and a cool, like, you know, skill set. And the fact that they could have had that in WCW and they were like, nah, you're going to be a big, scary power guy. Like, fuck off. No. Ugh.
What if he formed a tag team with another large dude and they called themselves Chronic?
Oh, wait, are they Chronic?
Oh, he is part of Chronic. We talked about this Halloween Havoc, too.
I forget about this every time you bring it up.
You know, what, you forgot about Chronic? What are you, creative? Yeah, this match started and I went, oh, this is going to be a chore. And the first half was... That's kind of what I noticed with Wrath matches, is that I'm like, I don't care for the first half.
I zoned out.
The second half's all right.
A lot of these matches, it's so easy to zone out in the first half and come back for the big finish at the end.
There were a couple rules moments, one large one, but they spend the first half of the match brawling on the outside, and there's just no count.
Nope.
And then while they're outside, Wrath just fucking chokes Glacier with the camera cable, and the ref just counts to 4. Oh yeah, if you count to 5, that's a DQ.
I have till 5, yeah.
Counts to 4, and then he's like physically trying to stop him. Like, disqualify him. You could pull the thing off after he's disqualified.
This should be its own segment of when we scream DQ at a fucking match. Because every episode we've recorded so far is like, that should have been a DQ. This 100% should have been a DQ, and they just didn't.
Yes. Around the same time, I think now I realize you didn't think anything of it,
No.
but it was real sad that Wrath is going on in the Mortal Kombat show, and he's facing a guy with a Mortal Kombat gimmick.
Oh, and yeah.
Who's not going on the show, and I'm like, oh.
That is kind of sad. I didn't think about that. Did not cross my mind. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So Wrath hits the meltdown, and he wins.
Even though he should have been DQ'd, he still wins.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It was fine. Although that spot really did any goodwill from the rest of that. I was like,
it was
your streak should be over.
Oh yeah, it was really underwhelming match. Didn't go too long though, which was nice. That's the one thing I will say about the WCW matches: they do not linger.
So after that, we have a Bret Hart video package, which he runs down Booker T, Lex Luger, Chris Benoit, DDP, just kind of, generally running through his issues with each of these men. I appreciated it. Did you notice the hockey net behind him?
No, I didn't.
He's sitting just in front of a hockey net.
Oh, that's
just
appropriate.
like a black room and just a net. That's
in case you forgot, he's Canadian.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget. There was one thing in this talking promo that got me a little bit, because when he was talking about DDP, he referred to him as Dallas Page, and that is the first time I'd ever thought about him in his name, because I'm like, obviously his name isn't Diamond Dallas Page. Of course his name is Dallas Page. But I've never thought about it. So when he called him Dallas Page, I'm like, who's that?
Yeah. It's also like when you remember that the RKO is just Randy Orton's initials, because his middle name is Keith.
Randy Keith Orton.
Randall Keith. So you ready for some NWO action?
No.
Too bad. We got Stevie Ray with Vincent versus Conan with no one. I don't know why. You have mates. You have guys who will come out with you.
Yeah, isn't he's Wolfpack?
Yeah.
Yeah, where did the rest of the fucking Wolfpack go?
No fucking clue. But at least you can actually tell from this that the Wolfpack are baby faces because they're stupid.
I hate all NWO. I swear I also blacked out for this fucking match because I hate the NWO. If I have to hear that goddamn theme song one more fucking time, I'm gonna scream.
I'm gonna set it to my ringtone.
No. Set that to your morning alarm so I get out of bed angry every morning.
So I noted, with it being Stevie Ray versus Conan, it's bordering on the weakest combination of guys you could have in terms of star power.
Yeah.
I think Vincent or Scott Norton, would have been below Stevie Ray.
I don't even know who Scott Norton is.
He's the guy who you keep thinking is Horace Hogan, and the guy you keep seeing on screen going, "Who's that?" I'm like, Scott Norton.
Fair. Even when Horace Hogan comes out later, I'm like, who's that?
I don't really have an explanation for who Scott Norton is besides the guy you keep not knowing is Scott Norton.
It's the same way I am with the Creedence Clearwater Revival Band. I can never identify them.
All right, do not compare Scott Norton to Creedence.
So I feel like this match should have been bigger. This should have been a bigger deal.
Yeah, but
Wolfpack versus Black and White. Like,
yeah,
it
but
should
it's
be
Stevie
bigger.
Ray versus Conan, so no one cares.
It could have been bigger.
Yeah,
it should have been bigger. It's a pay-per-view. It should have been bigger.
Yeah,
but it wasn't because fuck them. And Hogan's not here, so who cares?
Did you notice that Stevie Ray changed up his gear? He does not have the suspenders singlet anymore.
He does not. But he has some. There was something written on his butt. Now I can't remember.
Probably
what it was.
Slapjack.
Slapjack. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that throughout.
Yeah, because Vincent slapjacked him, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's for the finish.
Like towards the finish. Yeah.
The audience seemed to care as much as we did as well.
The commentators did mention that there was bad blood between Stevie Ray and Conan. Whatever that bad blood was, we'll never know because there was no background promo or anything.
I think it's just the fact that
it's just Wolfpack versus
and if we say it, it exists.
Ugh.
So you know very little about Vincent/Virgil.
Yes.
We'll save that for if he ever has an actual match. But I just want to show you and get your live reaction to the Lonely Virgil photo.
The Lonely Virgil photo?
This is him at a wrestling convention.
Oh, that's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god. He doesn't have a line, he's got no buddies. Oh, that's so sad. Ugh.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. See, that one didn't even have the false advertising. Occasionally, he'll have written because his gimmick in WWE that he was like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase's assistant. Mm. It's a weird manservant thing going on, but he'll occasionally
problematic because he's
but he'll have a sign saying Ted DiBiase and Virgil, and DiBiase never shows up.
Listen, as someone who's gone to 2 Comic-Cons, seeing anybody at a con like that with no line, it just brings a tear to your eye. It's just so sad.
Trying to think if his Ted DiBiase sign is more false advertising, or if it's like Seymour the dog from Futurama who just waits outside that pizza shop for Fry to come back and never does.
Dogs are too good for this world.
We both remarked on the weakest chin lock ever from Stevie Ray.
Oh my god,
who just puts his arms kind of over Conan's shoulders.
He doesn't even flex.
And just grabs his hands together like near Conan's chin. I would even say on.
Near, yeah.
And it's just all right, we're in a rest hold. It's like, are you in a rest hold for rest holds?
It was I was looking at his biceps during it. There was no flexing. He wasn't even pretending. He was just holding.
This isn't even a long match.
No. You have no reason to be resting. You're not tired.
Although I do have to give this match 5 stars.
Oh god, why?
Because Conan kicks Stevie Ray in the stomach, then grabs his head and hits a face buster. And didn't need to do a fake power bomb to do it. 5 stars.
Are you listening, Billy Kidman?
It's like at Halloween Havoc when I gave the Sting Bret Hart match 5 stars because he actually distracted the ref.
Yeah. I'll give this 5 stars because they actually DQ'd somebody for something. The refs do know how to DQ.
Yeah, but even then it was a
bullshit DQ, but they still know how to do it.
Yeah, so Stevie Ray gets slapjacked by Vincent, and then Conan gets on top of him and just keeps punching him.
Yeah.
Even though the commentators are like, he's knocked out, you should have just pinned him.
Nah.
It's not even like anything really happened that Conan all of a sudden got pissed off.
No.
And
just for being alive.
Yep. So Conan gets DQ'd, and then Booker T comes out to help, and Stevie Ray rejects it. See if that ends up leading to anything. It did not in World War III. Spoilers. But, yeah.
Yeah, the Booker T, Stevie Ray storyline, because, they're brothers, estranged brothers, if you will, could have been something interesting, but no. No.
It might get picked up. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Not a good match, but compared to the things on either side of it,
Ugh.
you know. Because up next, we have Sonny Ono and the Cat versus Saturn and Kaz Hayashi.
What a guy.
Yeah, you thought Kaz was quite
He's
the
an
hunk.
absolute hunk. I could look at him all day. He's beautiful.
Immediately. I think even it was before even like Saturn came out. I was like, this is going to suck, isn't it? I saw Ernest Miller and Sonny Ono come out and I went, this is going to be a rough segment.
Is Ernest Miller the Cat?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But this match is in Ring 3.
I wasn't really keeping track of like which match was in which ring.
Not terribly, doesn't really terribly matter for the most part.
No.
It's just shifting it around so the crowd, gets better views on certain matches.
Which I do appreciate. Like, that's nice because if you bought tickets to this and like you sit down and you're like, oh wow, we have great seats at this one ring and nothing is in that ring, like I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that they do rotate it. So that's thoughtful. Point to WCW, I guess.
Yeah. So the Cat works most of this match for his team, although Sonny Ono, for some reason, is able to get the upper hand on Kaz Hayashi multiple times.
Well, because the Cat was like pushing Sonny back in, like, no, don't tag me and get back in there.
Even then, I was going to say, like, there was some like back and forth offense between them. I'm like, why? You're presenting Sonny Ono as being a chump. He also has the softest stiff kicks I've ever seen. Where I'm like, it doesn't look at all hard, but like it's making enough of a noise, and because I think it's just flesh slapping flesh.
So you think he was absolutely like hitting him,
I mean, to a certain degree, the
making contact?
the kicks you can only fake so much.
Fair.
But yeah, they didn't look like they were doing much damage. But also, I just wrote, "Fuck, I don't care." I don't.
It's true. It did feel like every move was getting countered because they were really taking their time to get into said move. And it was like, at that point, it's like, yeah, no shit, every move's gonna get countered. Like, it's taking you a full minute to get a guy into, like, any kind of submission hold or position to slam. Like,
How long do you think this match was?
ooh, 10 minutes?
8. So you're not far off.
Okay, I'm close.
But the main story of it is that Sonny Ono doesn't want anything to do with Saturn. And there's a real sloppy ref distraction that lets Ernest Miller come in and do like a roundhouse kick to Saturn as he's choking out Ono. And then Ono ends up on top of Saturn and pins him.
I was gonna say, I can't really tell you anything that Perry Saturn did in this match.
He had a couple nice moves.
Yeah,
I like Perry Saturn when he's on offense. Just a matter if he keeps being in there with people who, when they're on offense, the match comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
So far, it's been, on pay-per-view, it's been Lodi and then
fucking
the
Lodi.
Cat and Sonny Ono.
Can't stand Lodi. We'll get to that later, though.
Terrible match. Let's just move on.
Could not care less about that match. I didn't even rate these. I used to rate all these matches, but, like, I can't even be bothered to rate these matches.
We go backstage to, and it's actually backstage, it seemed like, to Chris Jericho on WCW.com.
I don't think it was, because later on, when DDP comes out and he's, like, running the perimeter, I'm pretty sure he ran over that desk.
Could not remember.
I'm pretty sure.
Jericho
Nothing's
says
actually backstage.
Jericho says that he is the true killer of WCW, along with Ralphus.
I love Ralphus. My boy Ralphus. That pout, though. I love Jericho's pout.
He is very emotive.
I love it.
Yeah, the WCW.com segments are really more like, hey.
We have an online presence, don't forget.
Yeah.
Remember the internet? It's 1998. I feel like you do have to say that. You know the internet? We have that.
Oh, I missed this earlier. In the beginning, they cut to Mean Gene, and he plugs the hotline.
I'm sorry, you have to say his full God-given name.
No, that's not.
Mean Woo Bygone Gene.
Why are you saying bygone?
That's what he says.
It's by God.
Oh.
He's
I
not
thought
from
it was Mean Woo Bygone Gene.
No, he's not from a bygone era.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, he is, but that's not the point here.
His God-given name is Mean Woo Bygone Gene.
Only Rick gets to do that.
I don't care.
However, he plugs the WCW hotline, which is just pre-recorded messages.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say we should call it.
No, one, it's definitely down now.
I don't know. Maybe
Two,
we
yeah.
get somebody else on the other line. We'll see.
Even then, it was just like pre-recorded messages, and oftentimes it wasn't, it was really kind of deceptive.
No.
And, it's you pay per minute, so they'll draw things out.
Oh.
But Mean Gene would get a, decent royalty on that for each call. So
of course he did.
He ended up making, his salary again in commission, basically.
Oof.
So finally, we make our way to a match that might be pretty good. We have Juventud Guerrera versus Rey Mysterio. Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, Kidman comes out, and then Juvi comes out. And we were like, what the fuck? Where's Rey?
A match that could have been really good. Just no, we're not going to do that.
So I wrote, where's Rey? And Rey comes out.
Yes, Rey actually does make an appearance, which thank God.
Yeah. Juvi comes out rocking a LWO shirt, and Eddie comes out to cut a promo.
Eddie with that majestic ponytail.
It's still a weird mix of ponytail and mullet.
It's so long. His hair's so long. It's beautiful.
It's the old saying, you can take the mullet out of the boy, but not the boy out of the mullet.
It's true.
So Rey is pissed that he didn't get the title match because Eddie is, for some reason, able to make that call because he's the leader of the LWO.
Which means that he can, call matches.
Yeah, and Rey being in the LWO is also kind of weird because it was Eddie was trying to get him to join it, and then they're like, all right, we're going to have a match. If I win, you join. If I lose, I'll stop bothering you. Mm-hmm. And Eddie won via, screwiness. And I'm like, I guess, it's your word, but, I'd be like, no, fuck you. Yeah, Rey is pissed he didn't get his match. Eddie tells him to fall in line, but asks him a very important question. Do you have a family? Do you have kids? I'm like, you should know this, Eddie. He's yours. You did this whole thing.
You know what his family is. Remember Dominic? What was it? Dominic on a pole match?
Not exactly, but it was the custody of Dominic ladder match.
So, same idea.
Oh, exactly, yeah. With the, where the fuck was Vicky? Oh. I still don't know if I love or hate that match.
What, the Dominic on a pole match?
Yes.
And that's what I'm going to call it.
Because it's a great quality match, although it's a little, sloppy to the point of being scary. But just the premise is so ridiculous that it's hard to get past.
I feel like Dominic Mysterio really needs therapy. If I grew up and I was an adult and I watched that back, my father fighting for my custody, I feel like I'd have some issues. It's like the pepper on a pole match. Even if your character has to go through your rival eating your dog, I'd be a little fucked up.
So this match is now back in the main ring, Ring 1.
Yes.
Which it does annoy me that Ring 1 is the center one, and it goes 1, and then to the left of it is 2, and then to the right of it is 3.
The main ring is the middle ring.
Yeah, but I wanted it to go left to right, 1, 2, 3. I actually wrote originally Ring 2, and I had to go back and change it once I said something.
No, I mean, it makes sense.
You were saying that we've seen this match a bunch, but I thought it was kind of nice to see it with, a heel-face dynamic.
I guess that makes it different, but it's still the same two guys doing the same two moves. Or not the same two moves, the same moves. I don't know. I really want to see Billy Kidman and Juventud Guerrera fight different people.
They will eventually.
The last couple weeks we've watched, they've been only fighting each other.
Yeah.
Are there other people in the Cruiserweight division?
Yeah, we've also been skipping some of the more unnecessary items.
Yeah, but the stuff we're skipping is still just the same shit.
I know the difference of Juvi was wrestling more like a heel, and the commentators did seem shocked about it. Although he did have a lot of times with the Cruiserweight matches, it's hard to describe the exact moves because he basically goes for a tornado DDT, but then ends up on the apron, and then kind of smashes Kidman's throat into the ropes. It's a nice little move because the first couple minutes of this are very standard Kidman Juvi kind of match.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It was hard to watch this match with any sort of interest because I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of nice spots they didn't do previously. There's a diving Hurricane Rana from the top rope to Juvi who's standing on the apron to the floor. It was that's a nice spot.
Still did the face buster.
Yes, although that's about 6 or 7 notes down from me. You were amazed how many notes I had for this match.
Yeah, you had a whole fucking page, and I was like, oh, I'm squeezing out 4 lines.
Yeah. You missed Tony Schiavone talking about how it was nice that the Cruiserweight title was about competition because the main event the world title has too much drama and it's too interpersonal conflicts, and I'm just like,
this kind of is, no, I guess you're right. This isn't interpersonal conflict. Like, Juventud doesn't have anything against Billy Kidman. It's Ray versus Juventud.
Even then, it's Ray versus Eddie.
Fair, but they're not the ones fighting. So yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah. I was glad to see them do this, which is Kidman rolls to ring 3, and then Juvi springboards from ring 1 into ring 3. I was happy to see them incorporate that. I wish they had done a little bit of it more, but it was
because I feel like there wasn't a lot of utilizing rings 2 and 3 throughout.
Yeah, I do weirdly think, because I think it was one of the other matches that had this, where the guy rolled out and went to the other ring, and it's like, oh, he's in a ring, so I can't count him out. It's like, this is the ring we're in, okay?
Right.
Like that's some bullshit.
Yeah, you should be able to count him. If you start in ring 1, you can count him out in ring 2 or 3.
Yeah, unless like unless the other person like goes to that ring. Then okay, then
we're transferring the match.
Yeah, we have like reestablished that this is now the ring.
Yeah.
So they end up back in ring 1, and there's a weird head scissors from Kidman from ring 1 to ring 2, and then he dives into ring 2.
Why was it a weird head scissor?
Yeah, just like when you're going across 2 rings like that, it's just always kind of weird and like kind of sloppy to get all the way over.
I guess, yeah.
But the end result of this was a top rope Frankensteiner from Juvi in ring 2. He hits the Juvi driver, which I feel like if you're a heel, that should be your finisher and not the 450.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because Juvi actually goes to the 450 and misses it, but lands on his feet. Like, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, none of these guys are bad wrestlers. Like, they are technically good.
No, that's just generally impressive as well, just to be able to, like, actually land it, because it's like, oh, shit. Also, it probably hurts the shit of your ankles.
Oh, God, yeah. All these guys' knees and ankles are probably shot, but...
Yeah, because then Juvi suddenly decides, I'm going to go for a powerbomb. Kidman counters into Facebuster.
Of course. We were waiting for it at that point.
So we're 5 for 5 now. Mm-hmm. And separately, we watched a match on SmackDown, and I was like, he's still doing it!
Yeah, he doesn't lose it. Like, he transfers, and the same thing happens. I do, like, when we went to watch that WWE match, I was kind of sad, because I like his attire way better in WCW. I don't like the undies.
So the end gets a little complicated here. Of Kidman goes up for the 450, and he gets countered by Juvi. And then Juvi's going to go for like another top rope Frankensteiner, but Ray suddenly appears and like sneak appears and holds Kidman's leg so he doesn't fall for it, and then Kidman hits the shooting star press.
Yeah.
So the main point is that Ray helped Kidman win.
Yeah.
So Kidman gets the pin, new champ, which they really gloss over.
They really do. Yeah, but like Kidman was the champ for so long, it's just like, oh, good, he gets it back.
Yeah. So,
and then it turns into a whole LWO
drama. Yeah. Eddie and the whole LWO come down, and they're like, I'm tired of this. Are you in or are you out? Which, first of all, he kept saying he was out, and then he lost a match to be in. So it's like, you've had him for like a week. Like, I wouldn't expect the guy to be in, especially if you're like giving...
No, they give him like a fucking ultimatum to be in, right?
Yeah, like, it's like if you got a new job and they give you an ultimatum in your first week, I'd be like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I'm done. No.
So he says that he's out. And then he was like, his line's like, get him!
Oh, yeah. It wasn't, he didn't even say he was out. He just like took his shirt off, threw it in Eddie's face.
I thought he said, maybe he didn't.
No, he never said he was out.
It was complicated.
Eddie was in Ray's face, being like, are you in or are you out? And there was like a little drawn out thing where Eddie took his LWO shirt off, looked at it, and then threw it in Eddie's face. And Eddie was like, get him! And then all of the LWO went at Ray.
Yeah, you literally just said Eddie for every name during that.
Eddie and Rey Mysterio are interchangeable in my mind.
Listen,
I know they shouldn't be.
If you're going to do that, just say Dominic's father.
But then the LWO like chases Rey out of the ring.
Which I had an issue with on one account. Kidman's an asshole.
Yes.
This guy helps you win the title, and then you just bail? He's going to get beat down by 8 guys. Like, at least stand by him.
Stand by your man.
Yeah, I was like, fucking Kidman, okay. Pretty good match. I liked
good. Yeah,
I liked the ring-to-ring stuff. I wish they had done a little bit more of it, especially with 2 like high-flying guys like that.
It was kind of the same as it was the last 3 times we've watched this match. It's good. Like both of these are good. I think it was
my favorite of theirs.
Fair.
But I still think I liked the Disco and Hoofy match more. So, Emily, how do you feel about matches that have finishes?
You know, I think they're overrated.
Oh, good. You're going to love the next fucking hour of the show.
Oh, phew.
Because next up, we have Scott Steiner with Fuckface versus somebody?
Somebody?
Well, last I checked, this was going to be Rick and Judy Bagwell versus Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner.
Oh, was that going to be this match?
That was going to happen here, but then Judy was put out of action. And I don't remember them making a one-on-one match, so I'm just like...
And they also didn't mention the fact that this was supposed to be a Judy match, and they put her out of action.
Yeah, I'm like, I assume it's going to be Rick Steiner, but I'm like, I don't fucking know what they're going to do at this point.
Once again, something that would have been cleared up had they done a promo package.
Yeah. So it is Rick Steiner eventually, but that ref is back. So this match is going to be in Ring 2.
Okay. They're rotating. More props to him.
So when it's Rick's turn to come out, his theme plays for a while and then just cuts backstage and he's getting like the lightest beat down. I actually wrote he's getting tapped down.
Oh, yeah. He's just getting kind of like thrusted at.
Well,
I don't know.
The Giant has him in like a headlock or like a sleeper. And the rest of the other guys in the NWO are just kind of like,
What this? What this?
No, that is too much impact.
Fair.
He then gets dragged out by the Giant, and Buff and Scott just beat him down for a while. Cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because why not?
On pay-per-view. Glad I paid for this.
We didn't.
Rick
paid for the
Rick
network.
needs to amend his look. Under his singlet, he has like a Nitro shirt, and it's like...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
It's a Nitro shirt. He looks like a real jobber.
Oh. I don't like his whole look with like the leather jacket and the headpiece.
Well, that used to be Scott's look too when
really?
they were a tag team.
Okay, I guess that's fair. But like, ugh, I just don't think it's a good look. It is very Hart Foundation though. What's his face? Neidhart. He had that look.
Yeah, kind of a similar vibe.
Yeah.
I get that. So there's a rare occurrence of there being a low blow while the ref is down in this one. So not necessarily a DQ. Other than the fact that Buff was in the ring beating the shit out of him. So, you know, it's kind of should have already happened. But
Buff Bagwell.
this isn't a match.
No.
Yeah.
This is a setup for the ending of this match.
Scott puts on the Steiner recliner, which looked more like a rest hold than ever here.
Yeah, I just love that name, the Steiner recliner.
And fucking Goldberg comes out.
Yeah, that was probably the most exciting moment of this whole pay-per-view, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Like, Goldberg coming out of nowhere, and he's just like, bam, in the match. Like, that actually, like, got me really excited.
That fucking spear.
I know! That's why I gave him the best spear.
Yeah.
It was like, ooh, you killed this man. He's dead now. We're gonna hold a funeral service. Like, oof.
I did like that Scott Steiner's character like wasn't intimidated. Like he like turns his back to him, like, no, I'm gonna keep beating down Rick. It's like, fuck you. But with that spear, the crowd lives.
I know, the crowd was so this whole pay-per-view I was thinking, like, are they muting the crowd? Like, is there just really no pop, or
we had a weird moment with that later
on, yeah. But they felt very dead and very uninterested. But with this, they were finally like, oh my god, something's happening. Wow. Action.
So they mostly get away unscathed, although Goldberg does press slam the ref into ring 1. And that's just kind of the end of the segment. More of a Nitro segment, but the crowd loved Goldberg, and like it popped him.
It
and
was
I'm like,
good.
Okay, nah.
Him coming in was good. It may have been a Nitro segment, but like him coming in spearing, like, I would love to see him and Rick in a tag team. I know it'll never happen, but the two of them in a tag team would be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think it brings Goldberg down
It
to
does.
a level it doesn't.
That's why I don't think it'll ever happen.
Like a one-off match would be interesting, but I don't know how many. You know, now that I'm saying it, I don't know how many, if any, tag team matches Goldberg has been in at this point.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
He's not really a tag team kind of person.
No.
Then again, I would never say that The Rock is a tag team kind of person, but, you know, The Rock and Sock connection is just
Well, ironically, I
timeless.
was going to say, if Goldberg does a tag team match, he has to do what The Rock does, where you like wait until like 5 minutes into the match, and then you finally come down.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not actively in the tag team. You're passively, if anything, in that tag team.
Yeah, so there's no finish.
No.
And we just move on to Scott Hall.
Oh, before we move on, though, there was a fun moment with Scott Steiner getting in the face of Goldberg. When, like, Goldberg finally comes into the ring and he, like, gets in the face of Scott Steiner. He doesn't pick it up on mic, but you can see very obviously Scott Steiner mouthing the words, "Fuck you, motherfucker," in the face of Bill Goldberg.
That's about right.
It was great.
I've showed you the clip of Scott Steiner's first WWE appearance. Just
Give me a fucking mic!
I think it's great. I love when they cuss.
that man is very sweary.
I love it. That's why I don't like that current day wrestling is like rated PG or something like that. G or PG.
It's been PG since 2008.
Yeah, I don't like that. I want it to be more like raw.
They push it every now and again.
I love it. I want them to be more sweary. I
Yeah.
want them to bleed. Like, I think that's fun.
Especially the one random occurrence of it was right when Shane McMahon came back, and Vince put him in a match with the Undertaker at WrestleMania in Hell in a Cell, and Vince just all of a sudden was like, "I can't wait to watch the Undertaker give you a fucking beating." It's like, okay, Vince, yeah.
I mean, I feel like Vince holds the same kind of ideals as Quentin Tarantino in that one quote of his. Why so much unnecessary violence?
Oh, I thought you were saying both enjoy saying the N-word.
Oh, well.
Vince has said the N-word on TV.
That's not what I was going for, but yeah, let's go down that path. I was going for, why so much violence? Because it's so much fun, Jan.
Again, that quote doesn't work if her name's not Jan.
Everyone's name is Jan in that quote.
So back to, let's say, the show, but even then, that's generous for this next segment. Scott Hall comes out with the fucking, you want to know who's in the NWO to watch this segment.
Fucking everybody.
Yeah.
A mob comes out behind
this We talked
this
about how
man.
Conan had nobody come out. Scott Hall made up for that.
Well, Scott Hall is also definitely inebriated when he comes out for this. So he needed a whole bunch of people to hold him up in case he fell.
So he's apparently going to be facing Kevin Nash because, like, oh, this is a return match from Halloween Havoc.
Which makes sense.
And I did have to actually think, I'm like, what the fuck was the match at Halloween Havoc? Oh, with Kevin Nash, okay.
Yeah.
Bischoff comes out.
Big Daddy Bischoff.
And he's like, oh, it's survey time, which you were confused about.
Yes.
So Scott Hall would come out and cut a promo, and it would be like, all right, who came here to see WCW? Crowd noise. Who came here to see the NWO?
Bigger crowd noise.
Didn't matter. Every time it was another win for the bad guys. Every single time. It did not matter.
So that was called survey time?
Yeah, he would say, like, I think he would say something involving a survey, he would say. But so basically it's implied that Bischoff's going to do that, and then he just says, get him. And they all beat down.
There was another line of context in there between survey time and get him. I can't remember what it was at this point, but it was basically like, Scott Hall, you are not one of us. He is not one of us.
I knew you were going to go in for that.
Deep cut singing a Lion King 2 song.
I was kind of surprised you didn't go for deception.
Disgrace.
So Nash comes down and makes the save. They fight everybody off real easily.
Yeah.
And Hall goes to Too Sweet Nash, which is this, and you kind of you kiss hands. And Nash turns.
Oh, that's called the silent llama, I think. Where you put like your two middle fingers to your thumb and you point up the pointer finger and the pinky finger. My friend's a teacher and she talked about this. My friend Amy, she does like the silent llama for her preschoolers.
It's known as Too Sweet in the wrestling industry.
No, it's silent llama. We're talking and we're not. Silent llama.
Basically, anybody who has ever formed a group decided, oh, we're going to do the Too Sweet thing.
Okay. I like silent llama better.
But Nash turns down the Too Sweet and just walks away. And
I've never seen a sadder 7-foot man.
Yeah, commentary once again notes that Hulk Hogan's not here. It's like, oh, I wonder what he's going to think about this.
Which again, I still, at this point in the pay-per-view, I still think that Hogan is going to interfere at some point. I'm still not believing them that he's not here.
Yeah, but he's not.
Yeah, I'm still like kind of surprised. Like you explained to me that he's just an asshole that doesn't like to be proven wrong or to lose, but still, like, I don't know.
So we have one more match before World War III, and it is Bobby Duncombe Jr. versus Chris Jericho with Ralphus.
Ralphus, my boy.
I think you got fooled into thinking that Bobby Duncombe Jr. was a bigger deal than he
did.
is.
We had a whole conversation about
Commentary
this.
got you.
It did. Because, like, when this match ended, I think I turned to you and we talked about this for a while, where I thought that, like, Bobby Duncombe Jr. was, like, he wasn't debuting, he was, like, having a return to wrestling TV. So I thought that he was supposed to be put over more by the like. I think I thought that this was supposed to be a bigger match.
Yeah, it doesn't help that like they talk about his dad way more than him,
yeah.
and so like it merges. Like, are you talking about him or his dad?
Exactly. Yeah, and 'cause it's Bobby Duncan versus Bobby Duncan Jr. Like it's easy to get mixed up. But like they do the same thing with Randy Orton in WWE, where like they talk about his dad, but they talk about him almost more, or like they don't toe that line as closely.
That's really only in 2002. He gets out of that pretty quick.
Well, that's what we're watching. That's my frame of reference. But they don't talk about his dad as they don't toe that line of like his dad versus him as closely as they do with Bobby Duncan and Bobby Duncan Jr. So it's easier to discern.
Yeah,
this is a little hard. That's why I thought it was a return.
This match is real nothing. I wrote Jericho's great. Duncan is nothing, but I did note that he looks like Discount Texas Test. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
He's a mix of singles push
test.
Bradshaw before he's JBL and Test. We also get to see the Lion Salt for the first time on the podcast.
They did say Lion Salt by name, which was cool.
Well, he hadn't done the move before that.
No.
So, which you also think is a top rope move, which again,
I did think
is
it was
not.
a top rope move.
It is a
I don't pay
springboard off the
attention.
middle rope, off Brett's rope, the most dangerous rope.
The most dangerous rope.
Bobby Duncan Jr. did have one move that I liked.
I couldn't tell you any of his moves.
He had like a Vader bomb elbow drop when he could go to the corner and kind of like jump off the middle rope backwards.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay, he had one
that
move
could
I
be
liked.
interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I'll take that.
But besides that, not much. Jericho almost dies at one point in the match.
Well, yes, but thank God Ralphus is there.
I don't know how much. I would say Ralph has almost caused it, but based on how light he grabbed him.
Oh my God, yeah. Ralphus is out on the edge, and he like goes to grab the leg of Bobby Duncan, and it's supposed to be like, you know, in other matches where they grab the leg and kind of like sweep him a little bit.
Yeah, because Bobby Duncan like has Jericho up in like a back suplex position kind of thing. Like has him up in the air.
Yeah, so Ralphus is trying to throw Bobby off to like, you know, make him stumble, drop Jericho basically. Just kind of very lightly wraps his hand around Bobby's ankle.
Yeah, and Bobby just like drops Jericho on the apron,
Yeah,
almost
he
on his
sold
fucking
it.
head. I'm like, okay,
Like he sold that grab.
it's not a little too well.
A little much, yeah. But he sold it at least. Like this was just, to me, if someone grabbed my ankle like that, I was a competitive swimmer. And in competitive swimming, in practice, if somebody's behind you and they want to pass you in the lane, they lightly touch your ankle. Like they do the stroke and they grab your ankle with your hand to like lightly say, hey, I'm this close behind you. Can you pull off so I can pass you? It's very light. It's just like, hey, by the way, I'm here. That's what that looked like. It was not an offensive move. It was not supposed to inflict any violence. I'm sure that's
what Ralph was going for.
Yeah, he's definitely got a swimmer's body.
Yeah.
He's a competitive swimmer. That man does butterfly all day.
He just reminded me of you.
Hey, that's rude. How dare you?
Anyway, Jericho grabs his belt, waits for Bobby Duncan Jr. to turn around, and he doesn't, so he just hits him in the back of the head with the belt. If you look, Jericho's very much waiting for Duncan to either turn around or move, and he doesn't, so he just goes, fuck it. Hits him and gets the pin.
Oh, God.
Bad match, but second best of the night at this point.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah.
Kidman, Hoovy, and then this?
At this point, yeah.
So next up, we have the World War III match, which we previously mentioned that we were going to do live commentary for.
Yes.
And we did it, and we didn't feel great about it as we were doing it. And I went back and listened to it, and
it's pretty underwhelming.
There's nothing going on.
Which is weird, because there's 60 people in 3 rings. There should be stuff going on, but there's really not.
And even when there is, like, it doesn't last.
No.
Like, the most fun we had was watching people enter.
Yeah.
We were like,
which was fun.
Like, oh, there's Chris Benoit. There's the Disciple. Disco. I don't think there's anybody we saw that we like, oh, shit. Alex Wright came out first, and you were very happy.
My boy Alex.
But it's...
Oh, Chris Jericho, when he came out, he was, like, so forlorn.
Oh, yeah.
So
he was
sad.
he was, like, winded. Yeah. Which I
He
assume
looked
was
like
acting.
he just took a beating. Yeah. Oh, 100% he was acting. Yeah. But, like, he looked good. The man can sell. The man is too good for this industry. Or this,
This company.
This company.
That's what you look for, this company.
Yeah, he's way too good for this company. which luckily he finds out soon.
So everybody comes out. We were kind of surprised they didn't do the NWO entrance as their own.
Yeah, they kind of like filtered out. There was like a small smattering of them all together at one point.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they got their own kind of music.
Thank God. I did hear the NWO theme a lot in this.
No,
I'm okay with that.
So they bring everybody out, and contrary to previous years, they did not do the 3-camera setup.
Yes.
They focused on one ring at a time for better or worse. I honestly don't know.
I want to say it was for worse.
Yeah.
It's harder to keep track of like who gets eliminated when it's just looking at one ring because other things are happening in 2 other rings.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Well, they managed to almost get around that because within the first like 2 minutes, Kevin Nash takes out everyone in ring 3.
Yeah, so he's just chilling in
Except
ring 3.
for like one person who I'm pretty sure that was a mistake.
Yeah. Who was that?
I don't even remember, but he eliminates like 18 of the people and one person like happens to get eliminated by somebody else. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Nash was supposed to eliminate you. So then Nash is just awkwardly standing there in the ring kind of pacing.
Yeah, he's just rebuilding
Which we
his
didn't
stamina,
realize
I
at
guess.
first because other times it was once there's 10 people left in each ring you merge. This one it was once there's 20 people total you all merge.
20 people total, yeah.
Yeah. So he
was just refueling basically for
which you
a couple
thought was
minutes.
unfair.
I did kind of think it was unfair.
He took out everyone in his ring. The man deserves a break.
No, I know I have a really unpopular opinion about this, and we've talked about this many a time, but I think of it the same way as I think of Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble. Like, it's not fun if he's just sitting there waiting to eliminate the next guy with one move. Like,
I would note, I think it's a little bit different in that.
it is a little different, but it's like, I don't want to see you stand there do nothing.
Well, in that, like, that is a timed match where, like, they even talk about in that, where if you eliminate, if you have nobody in the ring, that works to your advantage.
So to me, this is even more boring then, because in the Royal Rumble, at least somebody new is coming out every 90 seconds.
Well, there's 2 other rings.
Yeah, but, like, still, it's
I
not
can't,
fair.
listen, don't blame the fact that this match is boring on the fact that there wasn't going on in one of the rings for a little while.
I just don't like it. And this is also when you told me that Kevin Nash had gotten basically a promotion in this company.
Oh yeah,
and...
Kevin. Yeah, I leaned over to Emily one point. I'm like, oh, by the way, some point around here, it varies depending on who you ask. Would it shock you? Kevin Nash says he didn't get anything until early '99.
No, because that would make this seem like a hoax. Is that a word? No,
Hoax.
not hoax.
What the fuck are you talking? It's like a hoax.
That's not a word. That's not what I'm trying to say. Hold on.
A coup? I don't know what you're going for.
I'm trying to say, like, knowing that he is, head of creative supposedly during this time just makes this feel kind of like a flimsy match. Like, obviously we know what's going to happen if he's the head of fucking creative.
Yeah, there have been very few instances where someone takes over the book and doesn't immediately push themselves.
See, I don't think don't think that's fair.
No, but it's been happening.
You shouldn't hire somebody to be the head of booking when they're still an active wrestler. That's not fair.
What if they're an active manager?
Still not fair.
Okay, because like a lot of 2000, like late 2001 is written by Stephanie McMahon.
Okay. It's different because, like, if these wrestlers and everything were unionized and they were getting paid regardless, I think it'd be different. But because they're basically, like, they're contractors. So, like, they're getting paid by, like, the match, by the hour. So they're going to book their guys.
The thing is, when it's not obvious, you don't really think about it.
Fair, yeah. But when it's Kevin Nash destroying everyone and then winning, sorry, spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of clear.
Yeah, like Triple H helps with the booking during his like reign of terror. Apparently is doing some creative stuff right now in WWE. Daniel Bryan.
Really?
Yeah, apparently a little bit.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Which is unfortunate because I'm kind of hoping he wins the Royal Rumble in the 2021 Rumble. So we'll see, but
I don't see that happening.
But the weird thing about people abusing their booking power is that usually you need to be good to get booking power. So it's like okay, you probably shouldn't push yourself this hard, but like you are a star, so it makes sense that you're around this scene.
I see what you're saying. I don't think Kevin Nash is that good, though.
Yeah, I think both of us have never really understood
No.
Like, he's big and he has a look.
Which is all that it takes for Vince McMahon to book you, so.
Do you know about fake Diesel?
I feel like you told me about fake Diesel.
So when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left for WCW, WWE had the mindset of, oh, we can just get new people to play Razor Ramon and Diesel.
Hold on. Scott Hall is Razor Ramon?
Yes, I've told you this. Why?
I'm just trying to keep track of all these different people and their different personas, and I didn't put two and two together. I didn't realize that Scott Hall was Razor Ramon.
Yes, and Kevin Nash is Diesel.
I got that part. I figured that out. He made an appearance as Diesel at the fucking at Survivor Series for The Undertaker.
Oh yeah, that was great. It was just a smattering of Emily's least favorite people, because it was like Shane McMahon, then The Big Show, then Diesel for some reason. There were more. For some reason, the Godwins came out.
Didn't the Godfather wasn't the Godfather?
Godfather was there too, yeah. Because they're all part of the Bone Street crew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when they left, they were like, oh yeah, we'll just recast them with new people. And poor Jim Ross, they had Jim Ross be the face of this. Because they like tried it and it went over terrible, and then they had to like turn Jim Ross heel and be like, no, it's totally them. We have the copyrights. Like, it's them. Why don't you love them? Do you know who played? The person who played Fake Razor is nobody really of note.
I'm going to guess the person who played Fake Diesel is like... Oh, it's somebody who, like, we know.
So,
it?
This person had previously been in WWE as Dr. Isaac Yankem.
Oh. Fuck! I know this. I know who it is. Oh. I don't know.
That's gotta be Kane!
Kane!
Ah! I knew that. As soon as you said Isaac Yankem, I remembered that there was somebody stupid that had a fucking dentist gimmick. Ugh.
Yeah.
I hate Kane.
Which created a weird
also,
issue.
He was not.
No, he was. He
was the only one in costume.
Yeah, he came out in full costume.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But
I'm losing my mind.
It created the weird issue of they wanted the new Razor and Diesel to wrestle like the old one. Mm-hmm. So Jim Cornette had to work with Glenn Jacobs to be the.
I'm sorry, Mayor Glenn Jacobs, please.
Mayor Glenn. And he's going through, Diesel's moveset, and it's like, he's only got 5 moves. You count the fucking hair flip.
Really want to talk about movesets, Kane?
Kane looks like fucking Dean Malenko compared to Diesel.
Anybody listening, if you like Kane, never read Journey into Darkness.
No, you should.
It absolutely ruins him. In all fronts.
To learn about Glenn Calloway.
Bones. Soup.
Curse. What curse? But, yeah, the issue was that Glenn Jacobs was a better in-ring worker than Diesel. He just wasn't as charismatic.
What? No. Kane wasn't charismatic? Can't be Kane.
It's gotta be Kane.
But the man learned how to ride horses. It's like a third of the fucking book.
Oh, God. Where were we in the match?
I don't know.
So
he derailed me with Kane as fucking Diesel.
Oh, so yeah, he cleaned house, and there's no like notable elimination spots. People were just gone.
No, there's really not.
Like that's the difference is between like World War III and the Royal Rumble is that there aren't really any spots outside of the very end.
Well, they got the Giant out. Like,
oh yeah,
working together.
7-foot Kevin Nash being like, we need to team up to eliminate that other 7-foot man.
Yeah.
See, the issue is he wasn't smoking, so he didn't stand out. I didn't know who he was.
True, man. If the Giant had that cigarette, just looking like a cool ass bitch in 1998, because smoking's cool still. Haven't implemented DARE in the schools yet.
So I'm trying to think. They're like the final 6 or 7. We were kind of going through because it was Nash, Luger, Malenko, and Benoit made it a fair bit into
They
there.
did, yeah.
Scott Hall, like Steiner didn't make it that far.
No, he didn't. And his elimination was really unnotable. I don't even think they like said anything about it.
Yeah, no.
We kind of like looked at it, it was like, oh shit, he's gone.
Yeah,
I
I feel like Malenko and Benoit made it that far because the story they were trying to tell was like, oh, it's like the Wolfpack versus NWO Black and White versus the Horsemen, but they really like didn't tell us around commentary, so it didn't really work. Mm-hmm. And then just they get eliminated. The final three are Luger, Hall, and Nash.
Yeah, and then Luger and Hall get eliminated together.
Yeah,
so it's like a really underwhelming ending.
Yeah, they do kind of have an every man for themselves kind of thing, like because Nash and Luger are in the Wolfpack, and Hall is kind of a man without a country right now in terms of NWO-ness. So, yeah, they're trying to eliminate each other, and then Nash just comes up and eliminates both of them, and he wins.
And that's it. The end.
Winner. No Hogan. You were.
I was really shocked.
Yeah.
I was honestly shocked.
We had watched the previous years, and that one ends with Scott Hall winning after Hogan comes out in place of Nash because Nash was supposed to be in the match and then wasn't.
Yeah.
And then Nash comes down as a 7-foot Sting, and he comes down from the rafters.
Yeah.
And it was just all weird and overbooked. I'll put it this way: this was not overbooked. I will give it that credit. This was underbooked.
Not. It was very underbooked. Like when they announced the whole
Jesus Christ, an NWO match. It's underbooked. Holy shit.
When they announced the whole roster after they had filled all 60 spots, we're like, oh, that's it?
Yeah, because I know they have a match upcoming, but fucking Bret Hart and DDP are just like, I don't want to win the world title.
No.
Or I don't want to wrestle at Starrcade for the world title.
Yeah. It was just a very underwhelming group of men.
You know who we totally forgot about? Bam Bam Bigelow, who just comes to interfere.
Bam Bam.
Yeah, Bam Bigelow, who gets in the ring and then immediately gets, like, quote-unquote eliminated.
Yeah.
He's not even in the match, but it's like a...
No.
Okay, so he's
here.
So he's not in their league because it's not even like... You could have told an interesting story if Nash wins and then Bigelow eliminates him.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, Bigelow's not in the match. He didn't win. And then you can kind of have some intrigue for the 5 weeks in between World War III and Starrcade.
Yeah, set up some sort of story.
As opposed to Bigelow just comes out, gets thrown out of the ring, and then Goldberg comes down to kind of not really brawl while the whole match just stares at them.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even, like, trying to kill time. They're just like, no, let's just look at them.
Yeah. There was a lot of standing in the corner and looking.
That's me in the corner.
That's me not in the spotlight. My ring's not even on camera.
Jobbing to Hulk Hogan. Oh, God.
Okay, well, that's World War III.
Yeah, that was the last World War III. We finished it. We're like, yeah, that's why they didn't keep that going.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder how much was... Well, because, like, the buy rate was better than the previous year. I'm wondering how much of it was the creative wanting to kill it, because we noted by that time Vince Russo was in the company, so...
True.
I wonder how much of it was the fact that it's a clusterfuck and doesn't really add anything, because it's not like the...
It is a clusterfuck and it doesn't add anything.
It's not like the other pay-per-views around it were... doing significantly worse. Like, this was doing better. So, yeah. It's a bastardization of the Royal Rumble, which, when we originally watched it, we were going to watch it, unfortunately, on the day Pat Patterson passed away. And we decided in good conscience we couldn't do that man's legacy like that.
Yeah, that day was kind of sad. I saw that at work, and I think when I saw the news, Nick was still asleep, and I texted you. I was like, "Oh."
Have you seen any of the nice tribute videos they did?
No, I haven't.
So one of Pat Patterson's favorite hobbies was, I don't know how much of the drunkenness was in there, but
he likes to get drunk
and go do karaoke.
Oh, so he's us.
And he loves doing My Way.
So he's you.
So they have
that's one of your go-tos at karaoke.
They have My Way, playing over the package.
Oh, cute.
And they're like intercutting with him singing it. Yeah, it's real cute. It's like when one of Vince's best friends dies, they're gonna do.
Oh yeah.
You can always tell who they have a little more love for via the video packages,
That's so sweet.
or who they need to, because Randy Savage wasn't on great terms, but they had a great package for him.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. See, now I'm just sad. I'm thinking about karaoke. I really want to go to karaoke. I miss karaoke.
Thanks for the great transition to the main event.
Sorry, now I'm just because like we would get drunk and go to karaoke like weekly, like when we first started dating and before we started dating, and you would sing My Way, and I'm like, oh, I want to go karaoke.
See, now when you say you're gonna sing My Way, I'm thinking of Limp Bizkit's My Way.
No, isn't that somebody's entrance music?
No, it's the one of like the main themes for WrestleMania 17.
Oh, okay.
And in one of the greatest video packages ever.
Yes.
Which is better than the video package for this because there is no video package.
I was going to say, did we get a video package?
No. I think the closest we got was Bret Hart's promo earlier.
Yeah. The only video package in this whole pay-per-view is the beginning, which is just a slideshow of names.
Yeah. I mean,
that's not a video package.
Pretty similar to the one at Halloween Havoc too. Like they don't do video packages.
Do they not have a video production team? Do they not have editors?
I don't know. We get Michael Buffer out for it, earning that paycheck.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, I feel this way every time he comes out because I like the Let's Get Ready to Rumble, but before that he does the Are you ready? It's like just do the second one. You don't have to. You don't have like you're milking it twice.
He might be getting paid by the minute.
No, he's paid per appearance, so that man can do whatever he wants. Nothing too notable from his announcements, though.
Oh no, it's pretty cut and dry. It's what he gets paid to do. He comes out and says his lines, and that's it, and he's done. So
DDP comes out, and you didn't notice this, but I did. He comes out wearing the belt upside down by accident. I was like, oh.
I noticed before DDP came out, commentary was like, they said something about being drained by watching that last match, which was World War III. And I was like, yeah, same. We're all a little drained. That was nothing. We're tired too. Let's wrap this up and go home.
So both of us noted a weird thing during DDP's entrance that we haven't noticed during any of the other ones. And we've had this happen on SmackDown when the song is copyrighted so they can't use it. But I swear we've had crowd noise for DDP's entrance because they're clearly going nuts visually, but there's like no noise to it. You remember that? The weird.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Like I'm not like I almost want to keep an eye on that going forward, but like they're losing their minds to this guy, and it's just.
Yeah, it was very weirdly silent, and like his music was really generic. So I'm wondering if it was something else.
Well, his music is. Like what I know his music, like it's the music actually that shows up when he's in the WWE video game, and I think it's what he has in.
I don't think it's what he has in WWE.
No, I can't hum it well enough, but yeah, it definitely is not what he has when he comes over.
No.
So I described this match to Emily as we were watching it. The first half of this match is a Gordon Ramsay scrambled eggs match, which is just the
basics but better.
The basics executed fantastically.
Yeah, so they're putting the eggs on the burner for 30 seconds, taking them off, whisking in that butter, putting them back on,
Or if you're Gordon Ramsay, on. Oh, yeah, yes. Okay.
A little bit of this. Delicious.
There, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yes. A little bit of this.
And you're done.
And you're done. Thank you, Gordon.
So Brett goes for a tombstone pile driver at one point. I'm like,
yes,
okay.
He does.
And DDP counters it, hits his own.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool move where they like countered each other's move. That was cool. I did like that.
And if you like that spot, you can see it in almost every Undertaker WrestleMania match from about 2007 onward. It feels like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Brett has an issue that ironically the Undertaker also does. So part of the Undertaker's comeback sequence is. He will pick you up, put you on his shoulder, and then like toss you head first into the turnbuckle.
Yes.
And they call it Snake Eyes.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard it have a name.
Yeah, it's like Snake Eyes, and then he runs off the ropes and hits a big boot.
Okay.
And then depending on what year it is, he'll then do a leg drop.
Okay.
But when he picks you up for Snake Eyes, it looks like he's going for the tombstone. So everyone pops like, and then he does it's like, oh. And Brett has the same thing where he'll like spread someone's legs to do a headbutt to like.
Oh, that got me this time.
Yeah.
I thought it was the
Yeah, a headbutt to the belly, the sternum, whatever you want to call it.
I thought it was a
sharpshooter.
A sharpshooter.
It's the same setup because he spreads the legs for it.
I called sharpshooter. I was like, "Oop, he's doing the sharpshooter." And you're like, "No."
Yeah, and the crowd kind of pops for it. It's like, oh,
because it looks like it.
Which works a little bit better when you're a heel, at least.
Yeah,
but still, it's like,
Was Brett the heel in this?
Oh yeah.
I have a really hard time discerning the heel and the face a lot of the time.
Yeah, almost troublingly so.
I know.
To where he's done nothing but be an asshole and get DQ'd for weeks, and you're like, is he a bad guy? Yeah.
Speaking of being DQ'd, he has an illegal item, but he doesn't get DQ'd. But he has the illegal item.
Well, before that, they go for the distracted ref low blow spot, and he's not distracted enough, and I'm like, oh,
I did miss that.
I'm like,
actually.
ref probably should have seen that one.
I missed that. I might have been like had my head down writing.
Because that, I think, after that is the first ring post figure 4,
which I liked.
Yes.
I liked Bret Hart doing it to DDP.
Yeah, I think
looked way more intense.
I think the most famous of those is him and Austin at WrestleMania 13.
Ooh, okay.
It's their submission match, which everyone calls an I Quit match for some reason. It's not an I Quit match. It's a submission match.
I quit this match.
Which, funnily enough, early in my wrestling fandom, I was convinced a I Quit match is like loser leaves the company. Like you're quitting.
Wait, is it not?
No, it's just you give up. See, like it makes sense for it to be like.
I feel like the last few that we've watched have been an I Quit the Company match.
I can't think of any of the ones we've watched that are.
Wasn't there an I Quit match with Steve Austin?
We recently watched the Mankind Rock one, but he didn't leave the company after that.
Fair.
First off, he doesn't even really say it. that was an uncomfortable watch for you, that match.
Yeah, that was hard. I love Mick Foley, but oh man.
So, while Brett has DDP in the figure 4, the ref once again was pissing me off because he's like, 1, come on, Brett, you got to break this, come on. 2, ref, you know, break this hold, Brett, come on. 3, good, break the hold. 4, and then come on, and then I'm like, that's not a count.
No,
it was the longest 4 count. It made like the count out count seem quick.
Yeah, and I hate when refs do that. Like they are the least. They're supposed to be unbiased. Refs are supposed to be unbiased.
Yeah,
but that doesn't exist in the wrestling world, at least.
I don't think. I think they are unbiased. I think they're just stupid.
Well, they are also very
glass.
fragile.
Yeah, they're made of glass.
They are little flowers. They're very dainty.
So yeah, the second half of this match is mostly Brett working over the knee and leg. Hits a regular figure 4 in the ring. So then DDP manages to start his comeback and then gets his own ring post figure 4. Little sloppier.
Yeah, it does not look nearly as intense, nearly as painful. Like I could put that on somebody. It looked so good when Brett did it. And I was like, wow, that looks so painful. But
yeah, and they also do a similar count there. But afterwards, DDP goes to get a chair. Oh, and yeah, we missed earlier that Brett grabbed the brass knuckles early, and then they got confiscated by the ref.
Because he dropped them, and the ref picked him up.
I think he got hit by DDP, but yeah, it was like
because the commentary pulled everyone's attention. Like everybody, look at the W on the ground. Look at that illegal object, and that's when the ref picked it up.
Also, like, do they not remember what happens week to week? He has this every fucking week.
Refs are stupid.
No, the commentators.
Commentators are
they're
also
like, oh, what is
stupid.
it? It's brass knuckles.
It's the same shit he used last week. But
so they're in the ref's pocket when DDP has the chair. And the ref waits until DDP goes all the way back to grab the chair. And I'm like,
classic.
Like, just let people get DQ'd. Come on. Because after that is the ref bump. Because then Brett pushes DDP into the ref. So Brett goes fishing in the ref's pockets and takes the brass knuckles out, punches DDP in the head, and then all of a sudden, the fucking ref from Scott Steiner's stuff comes down.
Yeah, the one with the
Once
do-rag.
again, merging that is Bret Hart in the NWO. Because he doesn't come down in NWO music, so that's why I'm like, he's not. And he doesn't wear the shirt.
No.
So he comes down.
This is the stupid ref with the black and white do-rag.
The very dramatic ref.
Yes.
By the way, do-rag. He came down in like a nightcap, or like an
old
timey
you're right.
like sleeping cap.
It did look more like a nightcap. With Ma in her kerchief and I in my cap. Both settled down.
Fun
for a long
fact.
winter nap.
I don't know what year this was. Mr. T wrestled in WCW wearing a basically like a like a black and white striped long sleeve shirt and one of those hats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he pity the fool?
He pitied his shirt because the wrists were too tight, so somebody tried to pull the shirt over him.
Did he get stuck?
And they got stuck. And so he had to wrestle with the shirt, like, trapped around his arms the rest of the match.
Oh, no!
He wrestled Kevin Sullivan, aka the
is.
Taskmaster.
Oh, that's so sad. As someone who used to have both arms in a cast, I know how it feels to get a shirt stuck on your casts.
So Brett puts a knocked out DDP in the sharpshooter, and the ref, I guess, notices he's passed out or just kind of calls the bell, says he gives up.
Yeah. So the head ref comes out, says that what the NWO ref says is true is not. So like Bret Hart did not win.
I think it was a little bit of, I don't know how much of it was Bret Hart cheated versus you're not a ref to be able to make this call.
Right. So the head ref is like, no, that's not true. So basically the match is still going.
Yeah.
Then DDP comes
just gets up.
Yeah.
And the
He's
Diamond
not actually
Cutter,
knocked out.
quick, like 1, 2, 3. Like, oh.
And that's it.
Yeah, real. I liked the match up until the lane.
Ending. The WCW does not know how to end a match. We've discussed this.
Yeah, so DDP celebrates, goes up the ramp celebrating, and that's the end of the pay-per-view. Real
underwhelming.
Should World War III have been the main event?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so too.
Probably.
Especially because like you're not going for any weird screwiness in the World War III match, so I kind of don't see why it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't
especially because this wasn't a world title match. Like, what's in Goldberg not? Why couldn't Goldberg?
Did they think that this last match would pull in better ratings than World War III?
It doesn't matter.
Does it not? Well, is this before they were doing like the by 15-minute increment ratings?
It's a pay-per-view. Ratings don't matter. You bought the pay-per-view.
True,
You're not going to change the channel.
True.
And I think at this point, especially, they're not doing head-to-head pay-per-views.
No, that'll be interesting when we get into that, though.
I think they stopped doing it because I think this is earlier. WCW did it, or WWE did it, and they were fine with it, and like the pay-per-view companies were fine with it, and then WCW did it for one of the WrestleManias. And pay-per-view companies were like, don't ever fucking do this again. So
they probably got a lot of complaints or something.
Yeah. Also, why couldn't Goldberg and Bam Bam Bigelow had a match on this?
Great question. Because Goldberg refuses to actually fight a match.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen a full match from Goldberg since Halloween Havoc.
Yeah. Which is a great match.
I mean, yeah, but it was our first podcast episode.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen a match from him since. We've only seen interferences.
Yeah, and it's not even like I've said, oh, we're going to skip this.
No.
But credit to him, he did show up before the last 90 seconds.
That's
I was
true.
almost
He was
expecting to see him at the end of this because
he was actually there.
Yeah, just because like I'm trained to think last 90 seconds we get a Goldberg showing. But he already appeared twice, so I guess he hit his quota.
Oh yeah, he made that paycheck. That was enough for him.
So that was the final World War III pay-per-view ever. I don't think anyone's even attempted the concept in other companies. So
honestly, good.
Yeah,
they're better for it.
You know what's funny to me is that people talk about Halloween Havoc being one of the worst WCW pay-per-views. I think it was better than this.
Oh, 100% it was better.
I think
this was just boring.
I think Hogan Warrior is worse than anything on this, but I think that show had more going for it. Like,
yeah.
Raven Jericho was better than Jericho Bobby Duncombe. I would say Bret Hart and Sting probably equivalent to this one. Equivalent to Bret Hart and DDP.
I just realized I never picked a match of the night or MVP.
You gotta.
Oh, shit. You go first.
I'll put it this way. Match of the night, I have...
main event.
Yeah, main event.
Yeah, same.
Oh, man. Honestly, I was thinking this throughout. MVP, I'm struggling because... for MVP, I almost chalk it down to production because Kevin Nash, like, very easily could have had a really impressive performance in World War III. And he kind of does, but, like, they don't sell it. And then once he does, it cools off for, like, 15 minutes.
I think I'm going to give MVP... This is not my bias, but I'm going to give it to Chris Jericho. Because he brought the most, like, personality and selling and, like... really like being into the scenarios that he was in. Like, he was the most fun to watch when he was doing the backstage or the WCW Online segment. He came out, obviously winded for World War III. Like, he basically, like, tried the best out of everybody else. So I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah, I'll put it this way: you put somebody else in that match. I think that whole segment's a stinker. Jericho managed to save that.
Yeah, he did.
I'm gonna go with Bret Hart.
Okay.
I thought his promo early on was real effective. I don't even know how good it really was, but it was just like a credit somebody for trying to like tell stories in this fucking company.
Oh God, yeah.
And hey, I'm feuding with 4 people right now, and it was a fucked finish in that in the main event. Honestly, I would have been fine with Bret just winning after that sharpshooter. It would have been a downer ending, but have the NWO ref call for the bell, and then you set up one more match between the two of them at Starrcade or on Nitro or something. But it's not Bret's fault that it was a fucked finish. So I'm gonna give mine to Bret Hart.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it.
But man, that was sort of opposite of a Sophie's choice there.
Ugh, yeah.
Oh God, that was a slog. That was real rough.
Yes.
So the next pay-per-view we have coming up is Starrcade,
which is WCW's WrestleMania.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Starrcade actually has a longer lineage, but WWE won the war, so...
Yeah.
So, we only have one match right now, obviously booked, which is Kevin Nash versus the champion, which is obviously going to be Goldberg.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, they're not even pretending on commentary. It's like, oh, they're going to face Goldberg at that.
Ugh.
So, any other match predictions? Because, I mean, you kind of got to assume that like all the titles are going to be defended, so you got Hoovy probably in a match against somebody.
Hoovy versus Kidman again, probably.
Every pay-per-view and every Nitro until...
Maybe Eddie versus Ray?
Maybe.
That could be fun.
Jericho's got to face somebody.
Yeah, probably not Bobby Duncan again.
Oh, I hope not. And then something with the Steiner brothers.
Yeah.
That's what should happen. And then we got...
What should happen and what will happen are very different things.
Yeah, we'll see how involved Hogan is, but we got the Bischoff and Flair storyline going on.
There was no Flair during this.
Yeah, just general 4 horsemen versus Bischoff. So,
you think we'll get more NWO or Black and White versus Wolfpack?
Yeah, that's probably a safe assumption too. I wonder how hard they're going to go with that, but yeah, we will find out in the next episode, which is going to be the road to Starrcade.
Woo!
Which will be a couple parts.
Oh, definitely.
At least 2, because there's 5 weeks in between this time.
Okay.
So we'll break it down as we kind of
get there.
Yeah. We'll try to divide it up that way any of the listening sessions aren't terribly long. But we're flexible. We'll kind of see how it all goes. But
the state that we live in may or may not be getting shut down again soon, so we'll have nothing but time on our hands.
Yeah, you'll probably get more episodes of that. We're going to try to speed up the release a little bit. We're recording this before episode 3 has come out. It's edited. I just need to do literally a final 5-minute touch up. I just need to make sure like one sound bite's in the right spot.
It's the week after Thanksgiving, and we've had a very long and rough week. So I'm giving us, a buffer time. I'm not holding us accountable for this. It's been a rough week. We're going to let ourselves go for this.
But in the meantime, if you were to follow us on Twitter at ButtsInThePod.
Butts in the Pod.
And subscribe to us on Spotify. And I guess that's all for this one. Any closing thoughts?
No. I think we did good. I'm tired. That was rough.
Yeah, we'll
it's been a long road.
We're gonna go to the grocery store and get some Swiss rolls and yodels and ho-hos and all that jazz.
We'll do a taste test in the next episode.
I don't think so.
No.
I hope you're right. But thanks for listening.
Bye.